All right, good morning, everybody. We're going to get into our Unit 12, Lesson 3, about geometric sequencing. Okay, yesterday, a couple days ago, we worked on arithmetic sequencing. We said that was y equals mx plus b. This was your rule. Your x was your term number, and your b was your term 0. Today we're going to look at a different formula that's y equals ab to the x power. We're going to see how that works with geometric sequencing. Remember, with arithmetic sequencing, we were adding or subtracting the same number and over and over and over again. With geometric sequencing, we talked about on the first day of this unit that geometric sequencing is multiplying or dividing the same number over and over and over and over and over. I want to make sure we can figure out how to do that. Success criteria, I know have met today's success criteria if I can independently solve the next and 10th, or whatever term I give you, terms in a geometric sequence. And here's our equation again, y equals ab to the x power. This a, that's your term 0. So in the previous lesson, term 0 was the b. In this case, it's the a. Our b here is our rule. That's what are we multiplying or dividing by. And then our exponent, remember this is called an exponent, that is your term number. On a calculator, if you're using the scientific calculators, remember that caret key means to the something power. Calculator. Okay, so we're going to use that caret key if we're using our scientific calculators, our calculator that I provided for you on your computers as well, or if you have one downloaded on your phone. So let's check it out. Remember, we talked about this section here for x equals 0, 1, 2, dot, dot, dot. That means that we're going to start with the 0 term, then term 1, term 2. So term 0, term 1, term 2. Let's make our table first, an xy table. Term 0 is 2, term 1 is 6, terms 2 is 18. Remember, we're using geometric sequencing. We want to figure out how do we get from 2 to 6, from 6 to 18 by doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. This is just up by 1, so our change in x is just plus 1. Okay? Well, to get from 2 to 6, what do I multiply by? 2 times what equals 6? 3. 6 times what equals 18? 3. So we're multiplying by 3. That is my rule. Okay? So let's check our equation then. We want to replace our terms in y equals a b to the x power. Okay? And remember, f of x is just the same as y. Okay? Our a, that is our term 0. What is our term 0 in this case? That is 2. So it's y equals, or f of x equals 2. And I'm going to put a parentheses here because I got to put that all in there because I'm going to make sure my exponent goes to the right spot. What is our b? Our b is our rule. We said our rule is times 3. And we said that the x is our term number. What term are we looking for? Okay, so our rule is f of x equals 2 times 3 to the x power. Let's find f of 8. We are going to replace x in our equation with 8. 2 times 3 to the 8th power. Well, what's 3 to the 8th power? If you don't know, let's go over here. Let's show over here. Okay? That's going to be 2 times 6,561. It's a big number. So f of 8 equals 13,122. Again, if I was doing this on a calculator, I would have just done 2 times 3, and I'm going to use that little caret key, and then 8. Or you don't even have to press the times. You can just do 2 in parentheses, 3, that caret key to the 8th power, and it will give you the answer that you're looking for. Same thing for for our next problem. 2 times 3 to the, our term number. Remember, it's our term 0, our rule, and our term number. Okay, 2 times 3 to the 13th, that's a really big number, 1,594,323. Big number, which equals f of 13 equals 3,188,646. Again, this would be a great opportunity to use your calculators. 2 times 3 to the 13th power. And you're done. Well, let's try a smaller one. Yesterday we worked with, our last lesson we worked with f of 100. It's going to be a really big number. I mean, if you already look f of 8, f of 13, really big numbers. F of 100 is going to be you can try on your calculator to see what it gives you. Let's just try f of 7, which is 2 times 3 to the 7th. If we plug that into our calculator, we should get f of 7 equals 4,374. And remember, going back to our equation, term 0, rule, and then our term number. Term 0, rule, term number. Awesome. Try our next page of notes. Keep practicing again for f of x, or for x equals 0, 1, 2. That means we're starting at term 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We're working with geometric sequencing today. We want to find our rule. We can make a table. Term 0 is 1. Term 1 is 2. Term 2 is 4. Term 3 is 8. Term 4 is 16. Well, what is our term 0? So we want to put first, remember it's y equals ab to the x power. A is our term 0. Our term 0 is 1. So it's going to be 1 times, what is our b? Our b is our rule. We need to figure out what our rule is. What are we multiplying by to get from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16? Well, 2 times what equals 4? 2 times 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. Our rule is times 2. So term 0 is 1. Our rule is 2. And then our term number is x. So let's find f of 6. 1 times. We don't even have to write that 1 part anymore because anything times 1 is just itself. So we just kind of get rid of it, make it an invisible 1. So we just get 2 to the 6th power. 2 to the 6th power is 64. 2 to the 10th power. What's 2 to the 10th? That's not 2 times 10. It's 2 times 2 times 2, 10 times. You just keep multiplying it, which is 1,024. And then let's try 2 to the 16th. 2 to the 16th equals, ooh, that's a big number, 65,536. And we're plugging these into our calculator. If I wanted to do this again, remember it's 2 caret 16. That's what it'll look like on your calculators. Not too difficult. You just got to remember, where do these numbers go? We've got A is term 0, B is the rule, and X is our term number. Let's look at our next problem here. If you look here, for X equals 1, 2, and 3, we don't have our term 0. We need to find our term 0. This is term 1. This is term 2. This is term 3. We're getting smaller, which typically means we're dividing. So we're going to figure out, what are we going to divide by? We need to get to our term 0 because we can't put anything in for our A until we get to that 0. Okay? If we are dividing, well, this one looks a little hard. So let's go the opposite way and see what do we multiply by to get from 27 to 81. 27 times what equals 81? That means 81 divided by 27 is going to equal x. Well, 81 divided by 27 equals 3. So x equals 3. Our rule is, instead, we're not multiplying by 3, we are dividing by 3. Okay, so 243 divided by 3 is 81. Let's show it. 81 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 times 3 is 24. Okay, so that proves it, because 81 times 3 is 243. So the opposite, 243 divided by 3 is 81. 81 divided by 3 is 27, and so on and so forth. Geometric. If you notice, instead of writing just our rule as being 3, so instead of writing a term 0, we said was, we got to figure out term 0 still. Be a good idea. Figure out term 0, we have to go the opposite way, 243. And we want to go from 243 this way. Since going this way, we are dividing. This way, we have to multiply. So we need to multiply 243 times 3. 243 times 3 is, 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1, 7. So term 0 is 729. Okay? So going back to this, we're not going to write term 0, 729, times my rule to the x power. That doesn't work. Okay? Because we're not multiplying by 3, we're dividing by 3. So we're not going to do this. What we're going to do is change that into a fraction and make it 1 over b. So our f of x becomes term 0, 729, times 1 over b, and our b, which is our rule, 1 over 3, to the x power. Looks a little confusing. Let's try it out. Okay. Fourth term, which is f of 4. Let's put it in there. 729 times 1 over 3 to the 4th power. And this is going to be a decimal number. So what you need to do is 729 in your calculators. Let's erase some of this stuff over here to make some space. 729 parentheses 1 over 3 to the 4th power. And if you get that, that's going to equal around 729 times 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just going to keep going. And if I do that, I'm going to get f of 4 equals 9. And these are great calculator questions. Okay, please use your calculator as much as possible for some of these. That's a 1. I don't know why I wrote 2, 2. Sixth term, f of 6. 729 times 1 over 3 to the 6th power. Again, calculator, 729 times 0.001317 dot, dot, dot. We're going to get f of 6 equals 1. Let's try our 100th term. 729 times 1/3 to the 100th power. It's a really small number. You take a fraction, you multiply it by itself 100 times, your number is just going to get smaller by 1/3 every time. 1/3 smaller, 1/3 smaller, 1/3 smaller, which is a really teeny tiny number. If you put that in your calculator, you're going to get 1.414499708, and it's going to say E -45. Okay, that's scientific notation. So let's rewrite it as proper scientific notation. 1.4 for rounding times 10 to the -45. Hopefully you remember how to do a little bit of that as we go through some of this. That's geometric. Difference is remembering, well, it's not all of it, but remembering where our formula goes. If we're dividing, it's 1 over b. If we're multiplying, it's just b. Let's do one more. I can independently determine the terms given. So I want you to pause the video right now, go through these problems, see if you can do them on your own, and I'm going to put them up here. After you're done going through this page on your own, you can come back and watch the rest of the video, see how you did. All right. Y equals ab to the x power. Okay, we have terms 0, 1, 2, dot, dot, dot. So 0, 1, 2, dot, dot, dot. Okay, what's our rule? Well, how do I get from 10 to 50, from 50 to 250? Well, 10 times what is 50? 10 times 5. Let's see, does 50 times 5 equal 250? 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 5 is 25. Looks like 250 to me. So our rule is times 5. Okay, term 0, that's our A. Term 0 is 10. Our rule is times 5 to the x power. Sixth term, 10 times 5 to the sixth power. Plug that into our calculator. We get f of 6 equals 156,250. 10th term, 10 times 10 to this, sorry, that was wrong. 10 times 5 to the 10th equals, put it in there, f of 10 equals a really big number. 97,656,250. Remember, calculators, 10 times 5 caret n gives us that answer. Okay, again, this is term 1, 2, 3. We need term 0, so we got to work backwards. Okay, we're getting smaller, so it's like we're most likely dividing or multiplying by a fraction. Okay, let's work here. How do I get from 125 to 5? What do I have to divide 125 by to get to 5? Or what do I have to multiply by? Well, let's actually change that. Let's go that way. That's going to be different. Let's make this easier and right. Sorry, pause this. 25. Gotta change that. How do I get from 125 to 5? Or 25 times what is 125? Divide the two numbers. 125 divided by 25 is 5. So I am dividing by 5 or multiplying by 1/5. That's how we write our term 0. I need to multiply 625 by 5 to get back to term 0. So let's show that work. 625 times 5 to find term 0. 625 times 5 is, that's 5. 25 times 2, 10 plus 2, 12. 30 plus 1, 31. So term 0, 3, 1, 2, 5. F of x, term 0, 3, 1, 2, 5, times my rule, 1/5 to the x power. So we're going to find f of 5. 3, 1, 2, 5 times 1/5 to the 5th power, which equals, plug it into your calculator, 1. Negative second term. This one's a little bit different. 3, 1, 2, 5 times 1/5 to the negative 2. So on your calculators, this is going to look like 3, 1, 2, 5 times 1 divided by 5 on your calculator. That's how you do that. To the negative 2. Make sure you do the negative 2 up there. And you should get f of negative 2 equals 78125. That's it. You're done. That's all the notes for this lesson. It's not too hard. Just remembering where do we put each number in our formula. Our A is our term 0, our B is our rule, and the X is the term number. Okay. In our pages, in our online Schoology, you have this page here for your homework, but it's set up as a Go formative. Okay? So don't do it from here. Go on to Schoology, find the link for the Go formative for geometric sequencing with the formula. Okay, submit that. It's these questions here. Check how you did. I'll check on it. Make sure you put your names in there if you're not signed up and you're using it as a guest. If you have any questions, post them to the discussion board. If you want to set up a conference, let me know. I can come and make some time to conference you online on Schoology. You can ask questions face to face. Anything else you need, let me know, and I'm available for you. Good luck.